On September 3, 1943, 9,000 Italian soldiers surrendered to the Nazis. They laid down their weapons and raised their hands in the air. But instead of taking them prisoner, Hitler ordered that they be shot. What does it have to do with me? Well, maybe you've seen the movie version starring John too. Maybe you read the book. It's called Corelli's Mandolin. A coward who chose to side with a stronger enemy and then used the locals to get ahead, even prostituting women for the pleasure of his German bosses. But when push came to shove, he wasn't willing to die for his country. After Italy surrendered, he refused to surrender his weapon. He preferred to become a traitor than to lay down his arms. That's why he got killed. Let me just remind you of the story. Captain Antonio Corelli is an Italian officer who played the mandolin. Well, they were rounded up by the SSS. They were paraded through the streets of the island's capital. Then they were taken to a place called Acqui Division just outside of town. It was made famous by the movie Zorba the Greek. Here it's played on the mandolin. There, they were forced to dig their own graves. Then the Germans stood back and watched as the Italians shot one another. Prisoners were given to bullets each, one for themselves and one for their best friend. Those who refused to shoot their friends were killed by German soldiers. Those who survived the initial massacre were taken deeper into the mountains and shot one by one. Some accounts say the Germans left only 1,800 alive. Others say that more than 6,000 survived. Either way, almost 90% of the Italian soldiers on the island were killed. He was sent to the Greek island of Cephallonia to take part in the Nazi invasion of the island. Eventually, they found a former German officer who told them what he knew. The surviving members of the Acqui Division still meet every year in the village of Sami. They remember their fallen comrades and demand that the world know the truth about their sacrifice. Along the way, he falls in love with a local peasant woman, and when Italy's allies declare armistice with the Germans, he refuses to surrender his weapon. We don't know if it was the Nazis or the Italians who killed him. Instead, he sides with the locals and helps them fight back against the Nazis. But at the end, he gets shot. That's left ambiguous. It doesn't really matter. What matters is his love for the Greek woman. Right, love, that's what drove him to defy his own government. Or was it survival? Was he simply looking out for himself? He called them traitors and branded them enemies of the state. Only 1,800 would survive. This was the massacre of the Acqui Division. And you're probably thinking, why do I need to hear about this? Well, let me tell you about the real Captain Antonio Corelli. Thanks to his fluency in Greek, he was sent to the island of born in 1909 in a small village outside of Naples. He joined the Italian army in 1927. He served in Ethiopia, then Spain, and finally, he was there from June 1941 until September 1943. He fought alongside the Germans, but he also took advantage of the situation. In fact, he prostituted 2 local girls for the entertainment of German officers. He made money selling cigarettes and wine, not to mention women. So when Italy surrendered, he didn't exactly have a good relationship with the locals. And yet many years later, survivors claimed that he had actually helped them hide and escape and that he had saved their lives. They said he was a hero, a man who defied the Nazis, while some returned home after the war. They looked for answers. They searched for their lost comrades. And if the novel and film hadn't come along, we might not have ever heard his name. But now you know who he really was. What about the other 8,000 men? How did those who survived find out what happened to the rest?